You said there's a lot of blame to go around.
Defense for me. 19-play drive at home. 3 conversions on that drive. A 2-point conversion. The 2 best throws of the day may have been from Richardson down the seam and on that wheel route to the receiver that he just dropped in the bucket. Both were dropped. They overcame those 2 great throws he had. You couldn't get off the field. And I know you had the ball with 7 and change at midfield after the Gonzo pick. But you knew they were going to run it. I never thought they were going to throw it and be on the attack there. You knew they were going to go conservative. Problem was, you had issues with your line. You get blown up on the second down. That's a 4-yard loss. Now, what, third and 14? Like, come on. They're not going to throw there. I think, you know what? Punt it away. Punt it away, and we'll get off the field here. It's Richardson. That dude's not that good. Quit on his team earlier this year. He's taken 1 pick after Drake the year prior. Like, that's a guy they got to make a decision on a year. Is this the guy that we want to hook our franchise to? I know we got the guy. Like, that's why I'm mad coming out of this game is like, this kid's going to be good. Jerod Mayo is going to be really good. And you can't mess this up the next 2 years. Like, this offseason is going to be so critical, and it's all going through your head. And then CBS throws it up there, and it's exactly when I thought it. They put up their standings, AFC. Mm-hmm. Number 1 team in the hunt, Indianapolis Colts. Top team in the hunt. That's where you want to be. You want to be them. That's the team you should want to be. That team's not that good. We sat here after games against, they should have beat Tennessee. I did it. They should have won in London. Should have beat Miami. Should have beat Seattle. We could go down that list. Should have had 4 more wins, this and that. That's the one. That's the one you come away and like, boy, I was wrong on those other ones because they lost those games. This one, you can't win at home. You can't win at home against that team. And you allow them to go 19 plays? 19 plays. Do you know how long? I thought about this last night. I don't ever remember, like, drives of more than 15. They would be rare. Like, a big 12, most touchdown drives are like 11, 12 plays if you have to drive at 80 yards. 19 with 2 drops? 3 conversions. Like, they hit 3. They were 3 for 3 on 4th down. And you couldn't get to them. It's the front. It's the back end. Yeah, that unit should be better than what they are.
Is it the players or is it the coaching?
Well, it might be the coaching because there's a lot of the same players from last year. And, I memean, you didn't even have Gonzo and Marcus Jones last year. And that defense played better towards the end of the year. And they were keeping you in games. There was no quit in that team. They were nasty, and they played hard at the end of the year. Defense. That's when Barmore came on. That's what got him the extension. Like, you were going to extend him, but then you were like, well, this guy's going to be a game wrecker. You know? That's why he brought Peppers back. The way he played at the end of the year. Team captain. I know they took it away, but that's for another discussion. But I'm just going through what they were last year at the end of the year to what they are now. That defense last year is better. I mean, we've seen this defense, I think, get progressively worse week to week, where I'm seeing an offense with a hell of a lot less talent, but you got the main piece. Seems like they're trending upward week to week, offensively. Imagine what this kid's going to look like when you get really a couple good pieces.
When you put talent around him?
You protect him and you get a number 1.
Yeah, sky's the limit.
Oh, yeah.
With him as quarterback.
Oh, he's top 15. He could be a top 10 guy next year if you put it around him.
Without a doubt.
He didn't need that talent yesterday. They didn't need that talent on the offensive side of the ball yesterday. They were good enough to win that game.
I know.
That's why you should be. That's why you should be pissed.
That's why we should be thrilled. I mean, about that element of things, right? And by the way,
that team's in a freaking mix.
I'm going to disagree with that Anthony Richardson take because the ball to Hooper in the corner of the end zone, front corner of the end zone, was the best thrown ball of the day.
Yes.
The one where Polk stopped and almost had his guy come back into it.
Brilliant. Great job. Great spacing.
No spacing.
Great understanding of the offense.
You're not going to get the ball. At least clear the guy out.
Yeah.
Do a taekwondo. Clear the guy out.
He should be thankful he's a second-round pick. He really should, because it's going to keep him in the league for a while. So
those lockers next to Bourne's now.
That's great.
Yeah.
No, I heard that yesterday. That's really exciting. It's really exciting stuff. Can't wait for all those knowledge bombs to get dropped on him and go to waste. But anyway, the defense is a real problem, and the defense is poorly coached. And I think yesterday you can look at it and say, in this league, games are often decided by a score. And when you're going up against a team that's one of your peers in terms of talent, record, etc. Because I look at the Colts and I say, you're in the same department. Yeah, they're in the hunt. But they've obviously found ways to win games, while the Patriots look like a team that finds ways to lose games. And
that's true.
I think yesterday, you can look at it and say, if this was a better coach team, you win the game. You're on the right side of it at the end. And when is that going to flip for this team? Do we think that's just going to happen? That they're just going to grow as a coaching staff and get better and become a team next season that in a game like that they win? Do we think that's just going to happen, or do we think there needs to be change? And I think that's really what you got to boil it down to.
Critical month.
And to have a defensive-minded head coach and have your defense look that bad throughout the day, but especially on that final drive, it's inexcusable.
Did they send the house? Did they ever send the house one play against him?
No, but the
guy that really doesn't see the field that well.
They were criticized for doing that against Matthew Stafford a couple of weeks ago, and then against the guy.
That wasn't sending the house. That was sending the guy from 40 yards away.
But then to have a guy like Anthony Richardson, who, as you said, is not a guy who sees the field well.
It's not one of the better quarterbacks you played.
At one point on the broadcast yesterday, they were saying he's learning how to play the position.
That's nice.
Yeah. I said, wow, that's something. You can get all the way to the NFL and be learning how to play the position. Which I understand what they were saying, which is he's a guy who is so athletic and so gifted physically that he's been able to skate on that his whole entire football life until now, which is why I think he's had a regression and he's not been what they hoped he would be. But the defense to look that bad, and I've heard it, fire DeMarcus Covington. Great. You fired DeMarcus Covington. Awesome. You've got him fired.
Yep. Who's your guy?
Good. Why do you not say, where's the head coach,
right,
who's the former linebacker and team captain and has been coaching on that side of the ball for 5 years, and in the age when offensive coaches get hired as head coaches, he beats the odds, becomes a head coach, and the defense looks like that? What are you doing wrong here? And so I think a lot of this blame needs to go right to the top and right to Jerod Mayo. What is he doing? What is he doing? You've asked that question about Jim Montgomery before. I'm asking it now about Jerod Mayo.
At least Jerod doesn't put his hands in his pockets and stand there. You know what I mean?
What is he doing right now? Because his team lost a game yesterday because they are poorly coached. Their communication on the back end is non-existent. We've been talking about this for weeks. They cannot get on the same page. And if you look at this defense, it's like the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing.
You can't tell me.
Disjointed unit, and that to me points to coaching.
You can't tell me Juwan Bentley means that much to
no, he doesn't.
He's
a good run stopper.
He's not monster of the midway. This isn't Urlacher or Dick Butkus or Jack Lambert, or Mike Singletary that makes everything tech.
That's not it.
He's a good player, but that's the only real guy that's missing. You got Barmore back.
He would help in the run game. Don't get me wrong. He would help in stopping the run.
Way better than Ellison, who kicked the Vi outside. That's a given. Okay, so two guys have.
So they've played 13 games now.
Yeah,
we're 13 games in.
They're getting worse on defense.
13 games in, and they're not finding ways to be on the same page. That is a coaching problem. So does DeMarcus Covington deserve to lose his job? Probably, but how is it that his head coach didn't bail him out this year after deciding he wanted him as the DC?
He spent years around.
How do you not bail him out?
They're tight, you know?
Well, he's not being a good friend right now. I can tell you that. Oh, they're tight. Yeah. Great. They're in this together.
Yeah.
What is Jerod Mayo doing right now to help that defense? Anything? Are we going to see any improvement between now and the end of the year? They're getting worse. Not better.
And you have
getting worse.
Buffalo twice in 3 weeks and a Charger team in the middle there, and you got to go on a road where you really don't play that well.
They're going to get smashed in Buffalo, man. I watched. Yeah. You watched the game last night?
Yes, of course.
All I could think was, man, if it snows up there when the Pats go up there, man, this could be worse than usual. Yep.
What a way to end the year.
They're going to put on a show.
Buffalo.
The Buffalo Bills.
They're playing for something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think they take some level of joy in smashing the Patriots.
Yeah.
Well, they should after all those years.
Yeah,
they should.
I get it. I get it. I totally get it.
The way it works, man. The way it works.
You know, I mentioned to you after last week's game, I said, man, I'm really glad that this game didn't happen in the middle of December. It's now December, guys. We're into December. And they had enough from their offense to win the game yesterday. They put up 25 points. I know it's not 35, but it was enough.
Bob and I are sitting there, and you're looking at the reception. 6 different guys had 3 catches or more. Tell me the last time that's happened here. Like, it doesn't matter who he throws the ball to.
Drake May
he doesn't
was
get fixated on
He was
one
all
guy.
brilliant yesterday. Man, was he good.
How much better was he in Miami as far as protecting the ball, too, where he started to feel pressure, cover the ball, get down. Like, I'm processing things.
Learning from mistakes.
And blitz him. Keep blitzing him, people. He's hit on like 65% of his blitzes. He eats the blitz up. He doesn't get flustered. It's almost better in the blitz because it like makes him plant that foot and zing it. He's a good one. Can't mess this one up. This 90% of what you need is you found the guy.
Well, as much as we talk about Drake May being great, the offensive coaching wasn't great yesterday either, by the way. So I know Tim McCone's got some thoughts on that. That I agree with from yesterday. Sure. So we can talk about that, the final drive. Jerod Mayo on timeout usage. Had another all-timer of a quote yesterday after the game. He continues to step in it when he goes to the podium, man. He really does. He's not good at that part of the job. He's not good at that. He should adopt some of those Bill Belichick things just to protect himself.
That's why Bill never said anything.
No, that is not why Bill never said anything. Because Bill, when he wants to talk, could say very interesting things. Yeah. And he's doing that, I think, now in media. He just did it because he thought it was some sort of advantage not to say anything.
Yeah.
He didn't want to let the other team in on it, which was silly. But he could talk, and he could talk and not step in it when he chose to do that.
Yep.
But Mayo... in your calls, your reaction. Are we at the stage of still being mad? Yesterday should make you mad. That's what Zoe said at the end of the broadcast, that the players should be mad.
I got to look around that stadium. What brings people here?
That's not an apathy type of day for me. That's a day where you get pissed off because they should have won the game. They should have another win.
I didn't feel juice in the stadium before the game, but once the game started, though, I'm saying, like, it was entertaining. Like,
absolutely.
Bob and I are like, hey, we got to be on our stuff. Like, it's one of those games. This could be one of those, like, 10-3 games, and, you know, you got to bring it for 4 quarters. And, like, they made it interesting, and they made it fun to call. Like, you have fun calling those type of games.
You gotta learn how to win. And this team and this coach have not yet learned how to win. They've certainly learned how to lose. Remember the days when the Colts would come to Gillette Stadium and it'd be like, yeah, game, set, match. You guys are cooked.
Yep.
You're the Colts. We're the Patriots. Too bad.
And he talked about the ride through the woods in the back, and you saw the boom. There it is.
Yeah.
Death Force 1.
How does that all look now? What's he talking about when he says... I mean, the only thing I could think of that he's referring to is Bill Belichick staring across the field at Pete Carroll in Super Bowl 49, not calling a timeout when Carroll expected for him to call a timeout.
Correct.
That's got to be what he's referencing,
that's
right?
The first thing I thought of. Yeah. But I just thought at that time it's an odd comparison.
Right, because you're watching the operation in that situation saying they don't have their bleep together, so let's play this out. Not managing the clock strategically. You know what I mean?
The Super Bowl meant like we had the right personnel because we sent Malcolm, and so that's our goal line, and he didn't react to it, and they know it.
Right.
Like that was the step ahead. And Bill talked about that in 3 Games of Glory. Yeah.
And Jerod Mayo was on the 2014 Patriots and did get a Super Bowl ring. And so that's what he's referring to when he says we. We. What are we supposed to do with that? I mean, dude, I can't even take that seriously. What kind of explanation is that?
There's some weird quotes like that. Like Patricia's done it too. Like, yeah, it's one of the best calls. I had one of the best calls in Super Bowl history.
That's amazing. That's it. He's now Patricia. You just compared him to Matt Patricia. There he is. That's where. Yes, you did. You did.
I said there's odd quotes you take away. Like, why did he say that? You know, like yesterday was one of them, and Patricia's was like, hey, I had one of the best calls in Super Bowl history. That's really Bill. But.
There he is. He's entered the Patricia category.
There is an air of that to that comment, though, right?
An air of like superiority and like don't question what we're doing because
I know what I'm doing.
I mean, does he?
I thought we were putting separation between the old regime versus this regime.
Not anymore. Apparently not. When it suits Jerod Mayo, he's going to drop that on you. And for the record, Jerod Mayo played 6 games that year and then was done in 2014.
Yeah, we've also won a Super Bowl here.
Won a Super Bowl here. Who? Not you. You didn't decide to. You didn't decide to not call the timeout in Super Bowl 49. You don't get credit for that. You don't get to claim that as some sort of I know what I'm doing. That's what that is. You know that, right? Like, don't question what I'm doing.
He didn't like the question.
Like, look at my track record. Wait. You don't get to claim Bill's track record and Bill's in-game decision-making as your own. That's crazy. Which is why I laugh at it. It was a laughable comment. And it was laughable to be referencing winning a Super Bowl on the day you got embarrassed in the final 5 minutes of a game against the Colts, who really aren't even that good, in your own building, by the way, at home, where there is zero home field advantage for this team. None. No advantage.
It felt to me like the Colts felt they were shocked they were down there. Like, I never felt like they thought, oh, we're going to pull this game out. And they sure as hell did. 19 plays. 19 plays. 19. Stop the bleeding. Like Joe Mazzulla not calling a timeout when the team goes on a run. We're going to do what we do.
That's a better comp.
Yeah.
That's better. Yeah. I mean, if I were a coach, I'd rather have my name referenced with Mazzulla and not Patricia. So, personal opinion.
Yeah.
You want to throw my name around with Mazzulla? Cool. He's good. Patricia, not so much.
One's won a championship. The other's loves the town.
So, all right, 617-779-0985. Joe's in the car. Go ahead, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, guys. Let me tell you something. This guy, Mayo. I mean, I thought I wanted Belichick out. I thought we needed a change. I get this guy, Mayo. The stage is too big for this guy. I mean, Joe, why didn't he challenge that catch and that run there? That was clearly,
Well, I'll tell you why. Last week, it looked like an incompletion to me down in Miami, and they called it a catch. So if the league looks at it like that, and they deemed that a catch, I felt that was completion yesterday. I never complained about him not challenging the Mallory one. The Drake May one, absolutely. Could clearly see it. He beat that by half a yard. You want to put it in the league's hands as to, the ground eating the catch or whatever? They don't know what they're doing. So if I got burned last week by it, I'm not getting burned 2 weeks in a row on that same exact hands on the ground, balls low. Did he controlled the ball last week? Now all of a sudden he didn't control it yesterday? One's one and one's the other. They both look the same to me.
I would have challenged that yesterday. I would have challenged that. That's a huge look.
You have to consider the spot in the game. That's worth
That's fair.
Using one up and
you have 3 timeouts.
The fear of losing the challenge should not stop you from the challenge there.
I don't
with
know
3 timeouts in your pocket, you've got to do it.
If, like, they get to review quick, and if they say, yeah, that's a catch. If he hears one inkling on the headset, hey, that's a catch, Jerod. He's not thinking about challenge. Like, he had the sock ready to go, and he's waiting on the Drake one. And I think he was buying time there too. I thought he played that one perfectly. He allowed his offense to get your thoughts, get another play ready. We're gonna have a first down here. Get ready.
Well, my thought is that if you challenge there, you still also get a timeout.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is also a timeout.
Yeah. Slows things down.
You slow it down. You stop the game. They got to go review it
for a big 4th down play.
Yes.
Yeah.
It made all the sense in the world to say, whatever. Let's use up the challenge here and see what happens. Right? Time's winding down. Can't go home with the challenge. Can't go home with the timeouts. Can't take them with you. They disappear at the end of the game. So that's where he should have done it. Whether he was right or wrong was kind of irrelevant.
Yes.
Like, throw the damn thing. Challenge it. And after the game, he said he was waiting on a replay. He was waiting on a replay? I mean, is he even deciding this? This is upstairs that has to tell him, right? Isn't Rothstein the guy on this now?
Yes.
Yeah, but he said he gets a good look at it on the Jumbotron, and then if he can't see it, he trusts them upstairs. He told me that today.
But that makes me wonder about just the operation as a whole. I mean, that's a huge play. So shouldn't Rothstein be stepping in there and saying, hey, this is close?
No, I'll tell you why. Because the nerds have no feel for the game. No feel for the spot. No feel for what's happening.
They look at it, technically catch. They just don't move on.
They're looking at the technicality of, they may. No, stupid. Hey, dum-dum. Wake up. Throw the flag. Throw the flag. It's still a timeout. You still have a break in the action now. You use it all. It's a combo is what it is. There were a lot of bad decisions in this game by Jerod Mayo, man. Bad decisions. And, well, Breer is telling people that the Crafts feel good about the job that Jerod Mayo's doing. Bert Breer had that yesterday.
Agree with that.
We'll get you agree with that?
Yeah.
They think he's doing a good job.
I from an aspect of he is safe. Yeah, there's no.
No, but Breer goes as far to say they think he's doing a good job as a first-year head coach.
It's probably the realization of coming to the reality of what you are as a person, what your personnel is, and factoring that in.
No,
like
yesterday, personnel
was not a
not to
factor.
blame.
Yeah.
Personnel was not the problem yesterday. Talent, not the problem. The roster, not the problem yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday felt like what he said a couple weeks ago. He said, we got enough guys in that room to win some games. There's enough guys in there to win games.
They had the roster that could have won them the game yesterday.
That's true.
Hey, if you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand right here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.